Alright, so this particular series of StarCraft 2 was described to me as Bronze League heroes at the professional level. Which, when you think about it for more than half a second, really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I think I get what they're trying to say. I think we're gonna be in for a crazy set of strategies, where maybe the decision making is not as good as you'd like it to be, but usually those games, they are very exciting. So the very first map in this best of 3 is Berlingrad. In the top left-hand corner, playing with the yellow Terran SCVs from France, we have none other than Clem. And his opponent in the opposite corner, playing with the blue Protoss probes from South Korea, we are looking at Creator's main Nexus. Well, I think it's fair to say that Mr. Clem is one of the very best Terran players in the world. I actually also do believe we can say similar things about Mr. Creator right now. Creator, of course, made it to the GSL Code S Grand Finals. I already spoiled this in the previous YouTube video that I uploaded. The finals weren't necessarily pretty. He ended up losing 4-2 against Rogue, and even though he did get 2 points out on the board, honestly, it was Rogue in the driver's seat for the entirety of that series. Maybe just one bridge too far, but there's no denying that Creator made it to the Grand Finals, and that on its own is already extremely impressive. Obviously, I've talked about this in previous videos too, especially at the beginning of the year, but the amount of Protoss players over in South Korea really isn't that big. Hero obviously came back, Classic came back, but some of the best Protoss players are currently doing their mandatory military service, and we don't even know if they're gonna come back afterwards. So I sort of expected this GSL season to maybe be a little bit awkward, but Creator taking out players like, for example, Maru along the way certainly shows that he is currently in tip-top shape. And it's fun to see because, I mean, if you would have asked me who's going to be the best Protoss player, I mean, at the beginning of the year, I wouldn't know anyway, right? Like, it was a tricky thing to predict in the first place. But there's no denying that I don't think Creator would have... maybe not even Hero, man. Hero is widely considered to be the best Protoss in the world right now, but I probably would have said Trap at this stage in the year. Anyhow, Clem going for the good old engineering bay block right over here inside of the natural of the opponent. This is one of those annoying little moves. He even comes back for a little bit more. Basically, what you do is you build it as far as you can, but you don't complete it, so you can still cancel it. So it's a very... oh my god. It's a very resource/like HP efficient structure that you can build very early on. So all you need, I believe, is a supply depot. So as soon as you have the supply depot, you can just go ahead and plant it down inside of your opponent's natural expo, delay their base, and even though at this level, it shouldn't really matter all too much. Creator has adjusted by going for a faster second gas than he probably wanted to. He's gone for an extra pylon here at the front, but you'll notice on the ladder, if you do this sort of build as a Terran player, that many people are gonna forget their third pylon, or just, you know, completely mess up their strategies in general, because normally that Nexus is gonna be done, and the Nexus, of course, also does grant a bunch of supply. So, especially Protoss, super build order dependent, not really very flexible in the early game at all. If you can mess with their strategies in any way whatsoever, it's a nice way to get started, but obviously someone at the caliber of Creator, not really gonna be too bothered by that. That's one thing I guess you get if you play this game professionally for more than a decade, like Creator has. You get a lot of experience. Clem not done yet, though. He's decided to now go for a factory right here with a tech lab on it. Probe is going to get towards the high ground and scout exactly what's going on. He sees the follow-up command center as well, so that's important. But at this point, yeah, the Cyclone is going across. There's okay, there's no shield battery. There's a very exposed pylon right there at the front. There's only 2... He's gonna have to pull probes. I don't see how he holds this. Sniper right there on the Zealot is pretty clean. Is he not gonna have to pull probes? There's no way. Okay. Good back off right there on that Stalker. Marines are getting surrounded too. Already 5 probes have been killed. This is quite important though here for Mr. Clem, because without this damage, he would be in a bit of an awkward spot. He's gone, by the way, as a follow-up right now for Blink. Robo facility just about to finish up too. Okay. Alright. Yeah, so since Clem obviously delayed his own command center there for quite a while, he's still not in the prettiest of positions, but as soon as mules start mining, yeah, he's going to be able to catch up in that income relatively well. His follow-up right now is going to go into Stimpback, but no combat shields just yet. No +1 infantry weapons or anything along those lines yet either, so you might just go for another follow-up push in a little bit. There's the NG Bay. I guess a tech lab on this one probably makes the most sense. As soon as he realizes it's done, hello. Alright, there we go. Anyways, until all of those upgrades are finished though, I don't think Clem is going to be able to get too aggressive. Whereas Creator right now is building up his gateway count. He's just about to finish up Blink, plus he's going for a Warp Prism. So obviously the Warp Prism can be used to warp in reinforcements, plus to, for example, provide high ground vision. Generally speaking, Stalkers at this stage in the game, they want to be right over here, right? So there's one siege tank over here on the low ground for Clem. Another siege tank is just about halfway done. Clem at this point doesn't know what the follow-up is either, right? So he doesn't know if it's Dark Templar or anything along those lines, so he needs to be careful. That's why there's a relatively randomly positioned missile turret right over there in the middle of the main base. Okay. I like the Cyclones in the main to lock onto a Warp Prism if they need it. But the Stalker count is slowly growing. And those Korean Protosses, they definitely like being aggressive with them. He's being pretty slow with it, though. I kind of expected him to go a little bit sooner than this. Okay, he's just going to go for one additional set of warp pins. Fair enough. Oh, okay. Right, so since the +1 didn't even start, and since the combat shield here is pretty late, apparently Clem has decided to now go for a move out, whereas Creator is going to go for a move in. Stalkers blink into the main base. He target fires whatever he can. Observer right there just YOLOs into the missile turret. Not quite ideal. At the same time, Clem is going for a move out, right? So he's going to be able to get his entire army towards the other side of the map. Creator, though, already picking apart the economy right here. He jumps very close to the siege tank. Yep, decides to, I mean, he jumped very close right there to the factory and then the siege tank popped out. But anyways, he decides to target fire down the juiciest targets. In the meantime, on the other side of the map, the Nexus on the low ground has already been killed. And this is now a full-on base trade. The problem is, Terran structures can fly. And the age-old adage goes to not base raise a Terran player because, I mean, while your win condition is to kill all of their structures and your structures can't leave, right? If you're a Protoss player, Terran can just lift up and get on out of there, and that's exactly what Clem is doing at this point in the game. Creator has lost 34 probes. Did he get any of them out? Okay, there's 9 probes out on the map. There's actually a Dark Shrine right over here building as well at the 3 o'clock position. Very nice thinking right there by Creator, apparently. Just preparing for this well in advance. The big evacuation right now from Clem, though. He's leaving the main base completely alone. The problem here is that, I mean, he doesn't have a gateway to warp in from, so that's a bit of an issue. He's gonna need another gateway in order to actually make use of that Dark Shrine. But the problem here for Mr. Clem is that he doesn't have any mobile detection, right? Terrans, as we all know, are allergic to making ravens. Or at the very least, that's what it seems. They never really make nearly as many of them as I would like them to. So there's no mobile detection here for Clem, and he's certainly not going to be able to start any of it up anytime soon either. Okay, the Terran structure's going for the most likely location nearby. Creator has rebuilt a Nexus right now at what normally would be the 4th base of the Terran. Or the 3rd. Clem is going to get out of there once again. He does have scans available. So in order for the Terran player to use orbital commands, he needs to land them. So yeah, this one just used its energy down below to start mining some additional minerals. Clem does still have 86 supply though, so that's actually quite nice. He's going to be able to, like 86 available supply that is. He's going to be able to actually get in some reinforcements. Careful. Don't accidentally send... Don't accidentally send your Stalkers towards the Dark Shrine. Okay. Cyclone right there trying to micro against this sort of army. Clem does not know that there's a Dark Shrine right over there. Ooh, oh, that sucks. That sucks for Clem. Yeah, he's scanning top right and corner right now. He's trying to figure out where this Protoss player is located. He doesn't know, though. This is, I guess, a Terran army with, like, those horse blinders on. You know, horses, when they walk out in public, usually have those, like, blinders on the sides of their head. I guess that's what those marine suits are doing as well. Their peripheral vision has been blocked. They can't see very far away at all. Even though that is... I guess the Dark Shrine is the size of a skyscraper, right? Anyways, Creator is gonna have one gateway and a dream. Okay. Clem's slowly rebuilding, though. He's mining from his old main base. He's going for another tech lab right here over on the factory, so he's trying to pump out whatever he can. One Marine checks out over there. Clem wants to, try and, I guess, catch his opponent off guard. That's why he's sitting behind. There's some side blockers right over here, some tall grass. He secretly hopes that, I guess, the Protoss players wander, or the units right there of the Protoss player wander in that direction. Anyways, Warp Prism here being as annoying as it can be. Creator has now found an additional command center as well, so that's nice. Gateway at this point is done. Creator already has 1 Dark Templar. I mean, already, 10 minutes into the game, 1 apparently is a lot. Anyhow, where's the Dark... Okay, he warped in 1 over here at the 3rd base too. There's gonna be this moment, I guess, where he will try and just... surprise his opponent with a bunch of DTs all at different locations. Is that the idea? So Clem has enough energy right now for 0 scans. Although he's at 40-ish energy right now on both of the command centers. So soon he's going to have a little bit more. Stalkers here being as annoying as possible too. They're going to pick off those additional workers. Can we please add on another gateway? I guess he can't even really afford it. Nah. I guess he's just using the warp in, on cooldown here. Okay. So this Dark Templar over here waiting for now. Clem is making a move in this direction. 1 Dark Templar, 2 Dark Templar, 3 Dark Templar. Okay, so here we go. Dark Templar being used right here to slice up those Marines. He's only showing 1 of them at a time here because he knows there's likely going to be a scan at this point, though. Clem hasn't decided to scan yet. Either that or he doesn't have the energy. Dark Templar right now slicing away at the siege tanks, too. They're going to be able to make short work of those. That being said, the main army here from Clem is pretty powerful. I wonder if he can actually... Yeah, he can definitely harass his opponent's base right here from the back. From the high ground. I guess he just dropped the... Did he lose a command center? Oh my god, he lost one. Okay, I need to go back. When did he lose that command center? Did the Stalkers really kill it? Oh my god. Okay, sorry. We're a little bit further into the... We're a little bit further back into the game. I didn't realize that Clem was so late on the lift up right over there. That actually is a problem. I was gonna say, he was saving up energy in one of those orbital commands. But this orbital actually falls in the main base. This is right before that little Dark Templar skirmish. Okay, let's watch it again. So this Dark Templar over here is having an absolute blast. Because this mule right over here is actually the biggest problem of Clem's game so far. He needs to wait until he's got 50 energy inside of the orbital command once again in order to go in for a scan. So that's why those DTs are absolutely tearing everything apart. Alright, still though, there's not that big of an army available right here for Creator. He needs to be careful that he doesn't bring all of the Dark Templar in one location at the same time. Okay, 2 DTs right here are being used. He warps in 1 additional Zealot. Probably not ideal, but those DTs, man, they've been absolutely amazing. DTs, obviously, even when you can see them, right, still do a lot of damage. Medevac right there goes down as well. I think that Creator has successfully pulled a rabbit out of a hat. While he hasn't dealt with the base down south yet, Terran doesn't get a whole lot of income. If he could only get... You should land it over there, man. He still needs 200 gas, right? If he could only get a 1 Raven out, that would make this game so much better for him. Not enough time available, though, for now for him to really transition away from the army that he's got. Yeah, he needs to scan. He really needs to scan. Okay, there's the scan going down. Yeah, the Dark Templar, though, still do so much damage, and the Stalkers, in the meantime, are also having a grand old time. I think that's the last of the Terran army, and there it goes. Creator wins game number 1. All right. Game 2. We're on Glittering Ashes. Props to Creator, by the way, that he already started up a Dark Shrine right there when the base raise was only like half underway, right? He apparently had the mental wiggle room right over there too. Mental wiggle room? Is that a good way to say it? Anyways, he had additional brain power to think ahead, right? In those sorts of situations. When you've never been in that sort of spot before, it's actually one of the scariest things of StarCraft ever. If you've never had a base raise in any of your games before, the first time you do, you'll recognize the stress that these guys are under. Because, I mean, we can see the entire map, right? We see everything. But suddenly, you expect that there's Terran units around every door. So the fact that, for example, Clem was sieged up in the tall grass, right? With the majority of his army. That basically was him expecting that the Protoss player was going to walk around with those Stalkers, trying to be as annoying as he possibly can be, just poking and prodding and everything, right? And then Clem would be able to pounce on the opportunity and snipe all them relatively, or all of the Stalkers, or at least most of them relatively easily. So, it's, yeah, it's very tricky. It's a very tricky situation to be in. So the fact that Creator already started up a Dark Shrine right there when the base raise was just, you know, barely started is really cool. Anyhow, Creator definitely, he looks like a completely different player. Like, without any disrespect, he was, like, mostly, like, around a 16 type of guy in the GSO Code S, right? Just like I said, I don't mean this in a bad way whatsoever, but now he's taking games off of the best players in the world. And, I mean, he's leading right now against Clem. The reason, by the way, why that's so unlikely is that usually, right, players peak and then they get worse, right? So for some players, their peak was back in 2013 and they've just sort of been cruising along ever since. But Creator had his peak as far as tournament wins go in 2012. He's been playing this game literally since the release of Wings of Liberty. So he's been playing this game for 12 years. He's always been very good, but he's always, yeah. Again, I don't mean it as a bad way whatsoever, but he's always kind of been like around 8, maybe around a 16 guy, right? And then for him to just, I guess, connect the dots in his head and do so well, especially after a patch that effectively nerfed a bunch of Protoss strategies, is amazing. Really good stuff. I hope he, yeah, I hope he can stay here. It's really nice. It's one of the coolest stories, honestly, of StarCraft 2. Okay, hold up. It's a Twilight Console instead of the main base of Creator. Double gas over here and everything too, so he's getting plenty of gas to go for a Dark Shrine. He's at 150 gas right. Oh my god, okay. Proxy Dark Shrine right here from Creator. He's thinking, okay, that worked out quite well for me in the first game. Let me do it again. Clem is proxying his starport while producing Hellions. Yeah. So usually what we see from Terrans when they proxy the starport like this is they make a medivac and then they send it across the map. This is just about to get really awkward once again. Because Clem is going to try and be aggressive around the same time that I think Dark Templar are available for Creator. And obviously if you go for Dark Templar, you can't really afford like Blink or anything along those lines. Not at this stage in the game anyways, at the same moment. So, once more, both players have not scouted what their opponent is up to. Yeah, he's kind of seen roughly what's happening, but he hasn't seen the starport. And likewise here for the Terran player, he hasn't seen the Dark Shrine. Alright. Dark Shrine does still take a little bit longer. I don't think he's gonna find out until like the Hellions are already landed, does he? Can he see this? Okay, he does see it right now. Nice move actually for Creator, stepping that Stalker ever so slightly further forward. That being said, how many workers is he gonna lose? Because I think that's the main question we gotta be asking ourselves. It's a probe barbecue. I mean, at the very least, judging by the weather, it's appropriate, right? I mean, right now in the Netherlands, it's been a hot couple of days. Every time I go outside, especially around the evening time, I can smell people grilling outside. Clem probably being one of them. Anyways, Dark Templar coming up once more. Not all heroes wear capes, but these invisible men do. Hellions, by the way, still dealing a ton of damage. Okay, you know what? That might already be a little bit too much. 22 workers? These Dark Templar are gonna need to be value. So far, they've not been spotted. Clem doesn't know. Okay, he knows. Yeah, he notices a little shimmer right now. Okay. Problem is, there's also a Dark Templar instead of a natural expo. Still refuses to make a Raven, because of course he does. Okay, Dark Templar number 1 gets killed. Dark Templar number 2, there's no energy available yet, but soon there will be enough for a second scan. There we go. Okay. Dark Templar number 3. Clem, hey, buddy. Can we please make a Raven? Why are Terran players so allergic to Ravens? I get that they're expensive. I get that they're hard to afford, right? But you've already done 2 scans, and you're gonna need about 4 more. Oh my god. Yeah, are we gonna scan again? Like, it always... I find it ironic that a lot of Terran players tell me, no, Lowko, you don't get it. We can't afford a Raven. And then at the same time scan 7 times. Like, the scan could have been a mule, right? That's like 2,000 minerals down the drain. Like, 2,000 potential minerals. But for some reason, the Raven is too... I don't get it, man. I've been playing this game for over a decade. I'm kind of like Creator, but I've never actually been good, you know? Like, no, I've been playing this game for so long. And Terran players always refuse... Oh, no! Dude, go for a tech lab. Make 1 Raven, please. I don't know. I will never understand this. I've played plenty of Terran as well. I mean, not so much recently, but I've played plenty of Terran back in the day. I I kind of get it, I guess, if, you know, you're also going up against Blink Stalkers. Because then you might accidentally just fly the Raven to its death. But Terran players really have an allergy for... And every time I do see a Raven, it always seems to get a lot of value. Anyhow. If it's not part of the build order, I guess it's impossible to get. Literally impossible. Would have been nice to have interference matrix to, like, you know, deny these Archons from popping out. Nice micro by Creator, man. Creator really has become a really strong player. It's awesome. So his main problem here, though, is that he doesn't have a lot of workers, right? You can strongly see that reflected right now in Clem's army supply. Clem's got 46 supply in army, literally doubling his opponent. Which is a big issue. His main way, by the way, right now of, I guess, not losing his army to Dark Templar is scans. Because, you know, Ravens, can't afford them. So there's one scan. This is gonna buy a lot of time, actually, for Creator, though. Force field? Yeah, nicely done. Slicing off a couple of those Marines. I'm surprised he went for the double force field, but fair enough. Yep, just warp in another Dark Templar. Alright, Creator. If you can hold this, that would be amazing. But I wonder if those Hellions from earlier just did a bit too much work. Because those Hellions from earlier did so much damage. There's another scan, by the way. Yeah, he does still have more scans available. He's got one more. Nexus gets cancelled. Supply block right here as well now because of it. He was probably banking on that Nexus. Yeah, being finished. Ah, okay. Here I am praising Creator. Ends up hitting a supply block here. Not ideal. Okay, there's another Dark Templar. Like, how many scans? Genuinely, how many scans? At least 7. Okay, maybe not at least 7. We could probably, okay, we can probably count the amount of dead Dark Templar. Okay, 6. 6 Dark Templar. I think all of them got killed by a scan. Anyways, there's still plenty right here for Clem, so he wins the game. But that's really just built off of the back of those Hellions, right? Okay, so our final map for today is gonna be Hardwire. Curious to see what's gonna end up going down here. Because these have been pretty wild games so far. No shenanigans, though, with the very first couple of structures. Would have been kind of cool to see Mr. Creator go for, like, a mech specs-esque type of opener. I don't entirely know if that's in character, though. He's been playing, yeah, he's been playing a variety of strategies. He doesn't really have... Like, okay, so sometimes we do see players making, like, a resurgence as far as their skill level go, and they once again climb very, very high. But it's mostly because of, like, a patch, right? That's maybe also why Creator's story is so cool. This is not like a patch that's currently in the game or something where a certain strategy is just broken or a certain cheese is a little bit too strong. None of that is happening, right? The Creator has just been solidly playing the game, and he hasn't really been making any drastic changes as far as his playstyle goes. It just seems that everything has just been going better for him. Anyways, Clem, once again, going for the good old Engineer Bay. Engineer Bay? The Engineer Bay block. The Engineering Bay. The eBay. This time around, a couple of probes will be pulled. Get off my lawn. He's coming back. Creator. Shout at him one more. Shout at him again. He would start up a new one, man, if he could. Oh. Careful now. The little SCV that would... Okay. Dude. I think you're dead. I'm sorry. Killed by a taser. Feels bad, man. Alright. What are we doing right now? Maybe a little bit overly aggressive right there from Clem. He's looking around the map. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he's once again going... He could go Hellions again. He could once more proxy his starport. Creator also looking around a little bit more diligently this time around. I think Clem is actually going for another proxy. Oh, that's really awkward. This is literally where Creator's probe was idling for a good little while. So he's coming up on 100 gas right now. Yep. Another starport. And we're gonna see the big switcheroo, so once more, I think 4 Hellions. Creator is sending units across. He had the probe patrolling back and forth over here right before the SCV showed up. Okay. Clem going command center on the low ground. Adept coming in. He hasn't decided his tech of choice yet, by the way. Creator, that is. Okay, 1 Marine for an Adept is not ideal. He did see that there's once again double Hellion production, so he probably realizes that there's a good chance that this is once more going to deal damage. Okay, I kind of like this. Not going for any tech whatsoever here for now. Just simply focusing on making a bunch of stuff. He did see the starport over there too. Okay. Getting one of the Hellions would be nice. Yeah, he really wants it. Nice micro right there by Clem. Very nice micro. Okay, so he didn't go for any sort of tech choice. Creator, that is. He instead decided to pull a couple of the probes out of gas. He started up the research for Warp Gate, of course, and now he's chrono boosting it out. And I think his main goal here is to just try and get a couple additional Stalkers out. That being said, this medevac is going to show up nice and early, but it takes 3 of those lines of fire to kill a line of probes in 1 hit. Yeah, so good targeting right there by Creator. Picks off the weakened Hellion. Still might get a couple of probes. Yeah. Literally a couple. Okay. Creator did go for a proxy pylon. Oh, we're just gonna go for... We're just gonna go 2 base, 4 gate. Is that what we're doing? 2 bases, 4 gateways, no Twilight Council, no Robo Facility, no Stargate, no follow-up, really. Just a bunch of gateway units. There is a siege tank out. I was gonna say, there should be a siege tank out by now. I love this, by the way. Clem landing the starport in such a position that the Protoss units have to go in range of the siege tank to escape. Beautiful little move. But I wonder if there's not just a little bit too much Protoss right here. Well, I say that, okay. Siege tank does go down, but at the cost of a ton of units. Good micro here once again by Creator. Medevac goes down. One Zealot gets warped in too. This is a very slow all-in right here from Creator, but I do think it is an all-in. He's not really added on a lot of workers. There's another siege tank down. There's no way for him to like get high ground vision or anything along those lines either, so... I don't think he's done enough damage yet. Okay, no, he agrees. He decides to add on additional probes right now. The fact that Clem actually had a tech lab right there on the factory is saving his ass here. Could have been an absolute disaster. Okay. He wants the Zealots on the high ground to provide that vision, right? Nice retargeting right there as well by Clem on the siege tank. You can manually target with it. Quite important to deal with these early game scenarios, because otherwise you end up either dealing splash damage to your own units, which, believe it or not, is not great. Or, of course, you end up just not picking off the juiciest targets. Okay, a little further back. A little further back behind the supply depot apparently is your place. Okay. So. Are we gonna go for a 3rd base here, Mr. I think we are, right? Yeah. 3rd Nexus probably makes the most sense. Terran did start up the Stimpec research. Doesn't have a 3rd Rex yet. Okay, there it goes down. So, combat shields is not going to be done anytime soon, but I wouldn't be surprised if Clem is going to go for a similar push as he did in game number 1, where he just had Stimpec. Third Nexus. He's obviously going to be the one in charge of this economical game. Creator trying his very best to get as much economy here as he can. Or economy, as a wise man once said. Problem is here, for Creator, he doesn't really have a whole lot of... Like, he's got units, right? But no way of really shutting this down with good micro. So Blink is about halfway done, which is nice. But how exactly is he going to deal with this Protoss... Or sorry, with this Terran army that I think will soon be marching across? Yep. He did go for a gateway once more on the right side of the map. Dude, Creator, man. I don't know. I don't know what they've been putting in his morning coffee. Do they drink a lot of coffee in Korea? I don't know. In his morning kimchi. Do they eat a lot of morning kimchi? I don't know. Kimchi is delicious, by the way. If you're unfamiliar, highly recommend. I think you can get it in most supermarkets these days. Anyways. Blink is done. So the problem here for Creator is that he's gonna go ahead and just... yeah, deal with this by blinking Stalkers, I suppose. Siege tanks are gonna have such a good time. There's 3 of them as well. Battery overcharge here is nice. One of the tanks a little far forward. Second tank, I guess, might get picked off as well, but... that fight is exactly what Mr. Clem was hoping for, who now starts up as like a victory dance. The 3rd command center at the 3rd command center location, too. It's... not good right here for Creator, right? When you delay your attack for that long, and you don't deal critical amounts of damage, while Terran is stacking up, you find yourself in a lot of problems. That being said, okay, probes pulled away from the base too. They are eventually gonna help out, clearing out all of those siege tanks. But if you look at the minimap right now, Terran's making a beeline with everything they have towards the other side of the map. Clem's still doing some excellent micro over here, not allowing those zealots to catch up. There's no charge or anything available, and as soon as indeed that 3rd Nexus is being attacked, Creator realizes that there's no way he's going to be able to win the game, and he GG's out.